Good morning, friends. Brian King, the Mindset King here. I just had one of the most wonderful conversations with a colleague this morning. And our conversation ran the gamut, but one thing it kept coming back to is the theme of suffering. The fact that as human beings, we suffer. And there are people out there who put on their best face and make it seem like that all of their suffering is in the past, they've overcome everything, and now they live in this state of utopian bliss and nothing can faze them anymore. And well, just for context, the colleague I was speaking to, her name is Chrissy. And Chrissy and I were sharing stories about how we suffer. We suffer just as much as we once did. However, our relationship to that suffering has changed profoundly over the years. I live with chronic pain. I live with anxiety. I live with depression. But because I have moved from a participant in those experiences to more of an observer, meaning I can now look at those things and say to myself, well, there's that pain again. Interesting. What do I do with this experience now that it's here? What conversation do I decide to have with it? Because the old conversation was, this sucks, I hate my life, and sometimes I still have that conversation. Sometimes my conversation starts that way, where I say I really hate my body today, this is terrible, and then I realize, well, this is just making me miserable. I want to change the conversation. So some of the things I shared with Chrissy is there's a couple questions that I've learned to ask myself when I'm in that state of suffering. One question I ask myself is, or rather I look to the pain and I ask it, what is it you're needing right now? What is it you need from me? And sometimes the answer that comes back is, you need to rest. You need to put your feet up. You need to slow down. Or another question I'll ask myself, especially if it was a pain, an emotional pain that I feel like I've gotten over, I thought it was in the past, completely healed, nothing more to do here, only to find out that I encounter some kind of trigger in my life that makes it come right back up again, and then I'm surprised by how raw it still seems to be when I had believed that it was gone to the past. So when it comes back up, I can beat myself up and say, oh, well, man, I thought I was healed from this, and I don't want to have to deal with this some more, and this is such a pain in the butt. That's one conversation. The one that I have now is, what else is it I need to know? Because I thought I'd learned everything that there was to learn from this experience, but clearly not, because it's coming back up again. So I close my eyes, I go inside, and I ask myself, what else do I need to know? Or is there something else here that I need to know? And then I quietly listen for the response. And that's instead of rationalizing it, making excuses, trying to find some high caliber denial to push it out of the way again until another trigger shows up and brings it to the surface once again. So whether you live in pain is not a measure of success or failure. The measure of success is to what degree your relationship to that pain has evolved. Has it matured to the point where you can be an observer of it? It becomes your teacher, and you're able to extract greater wisdom from every experience. Now, I'm not talking about a utopian practice here, where that's what you do every single time, all the time. You are a human being, first and foremost. You're gonna have days, maybe even just minutes, where you find yourself in a funk until you catch yourself and you change the conversation to bring yourself out of it. Perfection is not the unit of measurement here. It's a practice that you refine over time. Your capacity to be a witness and observer to these otherwise difficult emotions, difficult sensations of pain, anxiety, and refining your capacity to be a witness to it and have a conversation of learning from it instead of fighting with it, resenting it, or anything else that creates that sense of struggle. Because when you're a student of anything, you approach it with a sense of wonder, of curiosity, so you can just listen to it, watch it, feel it, and then learn from it. and grow, and then hopefully pass that on to somebody else. So that's just my 2 cents on this. I hope it's been helpful. Please leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Think of about 3 or so people that may benefit from this message and make sure you share it with them. And until next time, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.